What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. In today's video we got a whole bunch of stuff here. We're going to talk about some mistakes that nitro engine RC people make. So some of the biggest mistake, and they're minor, but you need to understand a few things. Okay, I have two engines laid out. So if you're doing this thing right here, you keep yanking this pull start and your engine just doesn't start. You got splinters on your fingers, cuts, all kinds of bruises, and your engine just doesn't start. The problem is not the engine. The problem is that there's a few mistakes, common mistakes that has been made by most people, even me, but you will learn over time. So let's talk about the first thing that you would do is to put in a fuel. Okay, the first thing, you're gonna make sure your fuel is in there. So make sure you know what kind of fuel is in there. That comes to that, you need to figure out what kind of plug you want in there. Okay, there's different plugs. There's a hot, there's super hot plugs, but that's one thing. Okay, so make sure you have the correct and know your fuel that you're using. Your RC is on. A lot of people tend to start up like me. When I first got my Revo, I was trying to start that engine up, but it just didn't start till I figured out, okay, my RC, the car wasn't on, the electronics wasn't on. So make sure your transmitter and receiver is on, and that's you gotta have that stuff on. Okay, you can have the best tuning out there. You can have the best. You could be the master tech of a tuner, but one little mistake, it's not gonna work out. Okay, so you will understand how this carburetor works in another video, but right now, some of the mistakes made by the RC hobbyists is, first of all, no one pays attention to their fuel. They just jam fuel in there, and that's it, good to go. Okay, we're gonna start out with the glow plug igniter. Okay, make sure your glow plug igniter is fully charged. Charge it overnight. Biggest mistake. Okay, biggest mistake ever made. Okay, glow. You're trying to rip that engine on, but it's not even glowing. Okay, pull up your glow plug and test it. Okay. It should glow. Like you see that this one started to smoke. So if your plug is not glowing, and it could be a bad plug, like this one is bad, and this one glows but not a crazy amount. Okay, there you go. It glows. It's nice and hot. Enough said with that. Okay, I had somebody come in, but like I said, enough said with that. Glow plug. Make sure your glow plug is working. It's charged, and your glow plug is good. Okay, next step up. We're going to talk about another problem that is not overlooked. People don't pay attention. If you look at this muffler, you have this pressure valve here. Okay, so the muffler, whatever the pressure builds, it shoots into the fuel tank, and that pushes the fuel into the engine. So make sure, usually it's up on the top or in the angle where fluid can't, like this one will be positioned like that. You see how it becomes up and the letter is right. But if you turn it around the other way, your pressure, you're gonna be pushing in the oil. Okay, the oil that pushes out. Anyways, that's that. Okay, now we're gonna talk about needles. Okay, the engine is not gonna start according to your carburetor way. Okay, so the biggest problem people that do is tuning, and tuning can be complicated, it can be easy. Okay, but some people become expert at it. So to start out, the bigger problem, you could be the biggest expert on tuning the needles, but what about the gap? Okay, no one ever thinks about the gap. If your gap is wrong, the idle gap, which is this needle right here, idle gap has to be correct. Okay, so make sure you know your idle gap. Okay, that's very important to know your idle gap. Idle gap is a small little. It's not gonna be able to. You're not gonna be able to see. It's a small little hole in there. You see how the throttle opens? That hole. Okay, idle gap. That's another big no-no. A lot of people does not pay attention. They start to do your tuning. No. You need to know your idle gap first. Okay. One more thing I wanted to add was another mistake people make is, you see the needles. As we turn these needles, okay, a lot of people have a habit. They would do large turns. Okay, they would do large turns. Okay. That's another big mistake. Okay, your nitro engine does not like that. Do small turns. Okay, do small turns. Small turns. If I do this to it, it's not gonna like it. Do small turns and see how it performs. Do a small turn and see how it performs. Small, and check. Okay, That's how that baby's gonna like it. Okay, it's gonna like it. You're gonna like it. Another problem is your engine just won't run. Okay, no matter how good tuner you was, how much you learned, how many videos you watched. Sorry about this crappy screwdriver. Just want to show you something. We're gonna pull out this needle. Okay, we're gonna pull out this needle. And there's one issue that no one ever looks. Okay, if you pull out this needle, let's see. These needles can bend. Okay, this is a tiny needle, but some of these engines, they have a long needles. If that needle bends, it's never gonna sit properly in there. Okay, it's gonna sit crooked. It's gonna do the opposite of what you're doing. Okay, if this needle bends, they will bend. Some of them are very sensitive, so pay attention to your needles. Always take a look. Okay, those are the few things. Okay, some of the good mistakes that people make. So start off with your glow plug. Now igniter is not charged. Your glow plug is either wrong or it's not glowing like it's supposed to. It's a damaged glow plug. And now we're gonna talk about one thing. Okay. All right. So you want to pull out your glow plug, which is in there, to see if it works. Okay. You want to pull it out and you want to put it on and to see if it glows. That's no problem doing that. Okay. Why did you do that first of all? Okay, your glow plug was good. You put it in there. Your igniter was charged, and you still pull out your glow plug. Okay, the reason was because you pull out your glow plug. It could be some people losing it if the engine gets flooded and they rip the engine a bit and it shoots out. It gets unflooded. Sometimes it gets locked. Anyways, you losing it up. Sometimes you pull out your glow plug to look at it. One mistake we all make. Okay, we out there in the dirt field. You see all that dirt and corrosion in there? So when you pull out that glow plug, the small little pebble of a rock, a tiny little pebble of a rock, of a sand, grain, gets in that block. I went through that. It will rub. Rub. Not today, not tomorrow. Rub. It's gonna keep rubbing as the piston go up, down, 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 up, down. What it's gonna do is it's gonna create a small little mark. Your car will probably start to run or lean, rich. It could do any kinds of damage, or your engine might just not crank because it's not holding any pressure. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching my video. Hopefully, you pay attention to these things, even though your engine is running. Pulling at your glow plug could be a mistake because some dirt can go in there. So make sure it's nice and clean. Alright, thank you for watching again. Okay, if I missed anything and if you have understood a few things that you have done bad, that if you never knew about this stuff, if you have, let's say you're an expert today and in the past, just let us know. Okay, you went through that, you done that. Okay, we made mistakes. I have made mistakes going out there trying to start an engine, not knowing this thing is dead. The one that takes a D-side battery, that's the one I started HPI years back. One thing I forgot, okay, your filter matters. Okay, make sure you have a nice clean filter. If your filter is blocked up, you're not going to be pumping no air into that baby. It's never going to run properly. Thank you for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more good videos on these nitro engines. See you guys in the field, and we are going to be tuning an engine. But prior to that, we're going to understand every single needle on this carburetor. That'll be one of my next videos.